I bought $1,515 worth of paddles and I don't even know what the difference between them are. Hey guys, my name's Nick with Whitewater Academy and today we're going to talk about paddles. We know there are so many different types of paddles and it can get really confusing at times. So today we're going to clear that up like Taco Bell clears out your bowels. With our paddles we have two different types of shafts. We have bend shaft and straight shaft. Straight shafts tend to be a lot lighter and less expensive. People who do not have problems with their wrist tend to go for these. Bend shaft paddles tend to be better for people who have developed some aches and pains in their wrists and want a more natural feeling. These might also be good for people who have developed a bad habit of holding onto their paddle way too tight. Paddle companies like Warner offer two different shaft sizes, your standard size and a smaller shaft. If your hand runs more than 7 inches, you're going to want the standard size shaft. If your hand's any smaller than 6.5 inches, you're going to go for the smaller shaft. Don't worry guys, a smaller shaft isn't that bad. Sometimes size really does matter. Every blade is going to come in a different size, measuring in centimeters, anywhere from 191 centimeters to 203. Each size goes up by 3 centimeters. Even though a bigger sized paddle is going to push more water and give you a lot more power, someone who's new to the sport and less advanced might want a smaller paddle because they don't have the proper technique and form. This is going to put a lot less strain and stress on their body. Whereas someone who's taller and more advanced with good technique can get away with a bigger paddle size. If you're a taller person, you're going to start off with a taller paddle. And you're a shorter person, you're going to start off with a shorter paddle. A lot of this depends on your fitness level as well as your technique and skills in the sport. We have 3 different materials that paddles are made of. Your regular plastic, these tend to flex a lot more, so you're going to get a lot less power, but these are cheap and a great way to hop into the sport without spending your whole wallet. Next we have our fiberglass. This is going to flex a lot less, giving you a lot more power. It's still a more affordable option and is a lot more lightweight. Then we have our most expensive paddles. These are made of carbon fiber. They are very lightweight. They do not flex at all and they're going to give you the most power, but they will cost you the most. One of these paddles averages around $450. You're probably wondering by now, well, how do I hold these paddles? There's 2 different types of shafts. The straight shaft, what we tell every beginner is you're gonna put it above your head, make it 90 degrees with your arm, make sure both hands are equal distance from the blades, and you wanna line your knuckles up with the blade. When you're buying a paddle, it's going to say L3 or R3 in the description. What that means is right-handed control or left-handed control. Most people are going to have right-handed, so it's good to learn with a right-handed paddle because if you lose or break your paddle, someone is most likely going to give you a paddle that's right-handed control. Then we have our bend shaft. These are really easy to figure out how to hold. There's going to be 2 valleys on each side, and what you do is you put your hand in between those valleys, and that's how you're going to hold a bend shaft paddle. It's a more natural fit on your wrists, and that's why it's good for people who have aches and pains in those areas. Oftentimes we'll see people when they first start out, they have their paddle upside down. The way that you can tell you're holding a paddle correctly, you can have someone look at the text, and if they can read it correctly, the paddle's the right direction. Another way to tell is that the part that sticks out more is on the top. And some paddles like Warner, you can also read it correctly on your side. The easiest way to correct how you're holding the paddle is to do a little helicopter move over the head, and now you're holding it correctly. Most paddles are going to come in an offset. What that means is that when you look straight down the paddle, there's going to be an angle. The standard offset is 30 degrees. People who play boat tend to use anywhere from a 0 to a 15 degree paddle, and then the standard for river running is a 30 degree paddle. After paddling for a while, you'll see what is comfortable to you and what makes sense to you. A lot of this comes down to your preference and your budget. Today we talked about the different lengths of paddles, what are they made of, how much they cost, and how to find the best paddle for you. So get out there, try different paddles, borrow them for friends, see which works for you and your body type, your fitness level, and get out there and kick ass. If this video helped you guys, make sure you subscribe, share this with a friend. By sharing this with other people, they can shop smarter and spend less time on the internet, fumbling around trying to figure out what they need.